speak. We ran the Who Charger yesterday, and we're going to run the Roots blower today and see which one is more competitive. And I don't know which one I'm bringing. I might bring a turbo car. You never even know. From now on, I'm going to bring whatever everybody else has got. So
I got you.
I'm keeping it tightly wrapped under my hat.
We have the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the inventor of Stevie Care, Mr. Stevie Fast Jackson, and of course, far more importantly, we have Nitro on camera as well. G'day, mate. How are you?
Nitro is excited to talk about the performance of the Fuel Tech sponsored NHRA Pro Mod series presented by D-Wagon, and it's good. We're at Goliath Motorsports Park testing today, and excited to spend some time with you guys. Nitro, what do you think? Nitro's on the fence. He's struggling because he's been a lifelong Roots blower fan, and now he's questioning his the center of the earth. He don't even know where it's at. He thinks it could be flat.
All right, Nitro. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to talk a little bit about NHRA, and then we'll get to Stevie Care and screw blowers and whatever y'all are doing. Mate, it's we're coming up to the halfway point in the season. We've got got Topeka in a couple of weeks. I guess, the elephant in the room is the screw blower, so it's going to jump in and out of our conversation. I didn't want to ask you this first up, but screw blown or roots blown at the next race?
Don't know. So we got the introduction of Stevie Care last week, so we are testing those combinations back to back at Goliath Motorsports right now as we speak. We ran the Who Charger yesterday. And we're going to run the Roots blower today and see which one is more competitive. And I don't know which one I'm bringing. I might bring a turbo car. You never even know. From now on, I'm going to bring whatever everybody else has got. So
I got you.
I'm keeping it tightly wrapped under my hat.
Well, Nicole and I were actually talking about you this morning on our walk around town, and one of the things we talked about was, which one's he going to bring? What's he doing? What's he doing at testing? Because we all knew you were testing there yesterday and today. And I said, well, a smart man like Stevie, I'd imagine he's probably taken both cars and he's going to back them, see what these rule changes do. I mean, you've lost 10% on the Who Charger. You've picked up, was it 25 pounds on the Roots?
Yeah.
So did you find 25 pounds, or are you back on your lettuce diet?
So 25 pounds is a token, what I call a token. It's like where you just like want to give a kid a popsicle and tell him to shut up and go away. It's not really enough to matter, but it'll net some performance. I went and spent $10,000 to get 9 pounds out of the car at the chassis shop, and then we're back. I've been since we've been Who Charger racing. I can just eat whatever I want because we got 200 pounds of lead in the car. So yeah, now like starting as of the implementation of Stevie Care, I'm back on the lettuce and water and no bourbon diet, so we can get some weight out of the car. These things are heavy. They're like tanks. They're not like the light race cars we used to build. So it's hard sometimes to get weight out where you need it. But we went to RK Racecraft last week and got the jigsaw out and cut out a bunch of parts, and I think we can get down to weight.
So strangely enough, with a conversation between two guys like you and I, we're jumping around a bit. You made the joking comment about, I'll take whatever everyone else has got. I'll bring some turbo cars. I'll bring this. I'll bring that. Now, a hero of mine from back in the day, Bill Coolman, actually ran a nitrous engine and a supercharged engine at the same event, swapping between qualifying rounds. Now, yours is actually two separate motor vehicles. Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. But a quick story. 2008, Orska, Easy Street, South Georgia Motorsports Park. I qualified with a Pro Charger, showed up on race day with a nitrous combination, and smashed the field. And that's pretty exciting when you get there. They just tear me down all the time, and I'm cheating. I got nitrous everywhere. So I was like, shit, if y'all think I got nitrous, I'll show you. So I drove back to the house 5 hours, changed the powertrain out in the car to a nitrous steel, duct taped some nitrous brackets in there, put some nitrous bottles in it, drug it back, and smashed the field. So I'm pretty versatile. So with Pro Mod, you're not going to be like bolting the nitrous motor and what we got out there. But you maybe have some cars laying around that may fit the bill.
So we might see you swap between a Roots and a screw between rounds.
You never know what may happen. From now on, like, okay, so the Who Charger runs good all the time because it's got the manpower, and the Roots blower runs good when it's dry. So, like, if I go outside and I need, like, a coat, I'm going to be running the Roots blower. If I go outside and I'm sweaty and I need some Daisy Dukes on and a tank top, then it's going to be Who Charger weather.
Nobody wants to see you and Daisy Dukes in a tank top, mate.
Me either. It would be terrible. What do you think,
All
Nitro?
right. So
all
let's
this
get
talk
this.
about rules and stuff has got the beast where he's taking them a siesta over here. I don't know if y'all can see that.
No, we've got so far off track that Lightning's abandoned. Nitro's abandoned us, so it's all good, mate.
You know what happened? I said that I maybe would bring a turbo car, and like immediately he's like, "What's that disease where people go to sleep? Narcolepsy." That's what the beast
is gone.
Talking about non-manly power adders, and if it's not the month of June, he'll get tired on you in a heartbeat.
All right, now back to reality. You're sitting third in the points. You are a couple of hundred behind the ever unchaseable Pro Charger that y'all have been crying about, that you're 2.5 numbers away from all year. You went out, you put the screw on it, and you've made a big jump. You're now only 200 points behind. You've been vocal. A lot of people have been vocal about the Pro Charger. I can see that you're busting to get at it, mate.
I got a vice grip on my mouth.
All right, just give me a second. There's 5 power adders currently in this class. Number 1 in the points is a Pro Charger. Number 2 is a nitrous engine. Number 3 is Stevie. We don't know what he's running. Roots, screw blown. Number 4 is a twin turbo, and number 5 is a screw car. How can you possibly complain about what's happening with the parity in the class?
Because one race ago, I was 10th in points with a roots blower. I've only showed up with a screw one time. I want you to tell me where the closest, what's the highest position car that's run a roots blower all year in points? Where's that? Take a peek and tell me.
A roots all season?
Yeah, somebody that's just running a roots car. You know, you can just pick the fastest.
Mike Thielen, 8th.
Oh, 8th. Oh, good. All right. So where's all the rest of them? Like, scroll down to 25. Tell me how many roots blowers we got. We haven't got 25
to scroll down to.
Okay. How many roots blowers we got in the top 10?
2.
Oh, good. So we got good parity there, right?
Well, if you stop crying and put yours back on, we'll have 3.
I'm see. Here's all I can tell you. When they let that Pro Charger in, they smashed us by 0.2. They were bitching when they had us. They set the world record on the first run down the track. All right, with a store-bought motor from Walmart. When you go out there and you cover the field with a Walmart racing motor by 0.2, all right, and then you get to dominate for 18 months. 18 months now, not 2 races, not 6 races, not even a season. But when you get to dominate for 18 months, you don't think we should just be a little upset that I put 300s on the field on race day and got smashed 10% of overdrive? Holy shit. Now, it's what I wanted to do because the Who Charger needed to be reeled back. So there's 2 ways to race. You got chess, which is what all the smart people do to race. And then me, I come in with a wrecking ball. I'm playing checkers and can't hardly count. And I don't know if I do it the right way, but I think the fans owe it. We owe it to the fans to run these cars hard as they'll go. And I think I felt like we were going to have some Who Charger domination if everybody kept sand leaking out. So it's necessary, not crying about parity, but you got to look at the average roots run. The roots blower has not been competitive since 2019 when they smashed us. And they smashed us because we were dominant. In 2020, we won the championship, but we didn't outrun anybody. We just outdrove everybody. Not taking anything away from Chris Thorne and Jamie Miller. Those guys have a combination. They test a lot. They run a lot. They run their car as hard as it'll go. And the results show. I respect that. And those guys are having a dominant season. 10 rounds of NHRA racing, we're going to need a miracle, comet, and an apocalypse to catch that man.
Now, I've had a clamp on my lips because you've opened 4 cans of worms in one sentence. So you go out there. Okay, we all thought when you put the screw on it, rightly or wrongly, and mate, jump all over me if I'm wrong, but I read into it that, okay, here comes Stevie. He's going to smash the record, smash the field, smash the screw charger. But y'all were crying that at 75 over, it wasn't going to work. With the 320 gear or whatever the rear gear was, it wasn't going to work. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. You put it out there and you smashed it. Yeah, so that's one question.
I'm a blower car racer, so there's never any crying. I don't have any turbo cars. No wine.
All right.
I said I was very vocal and said that thing would not be competitive at 75 over with a 389 at the weight it's at. 100%. That's why I didn't put it on right away. I was completely wrong in that. I have no experience with running low overdrive screw cars.
Aaron, can you say that just one more time? I don't think the world's ever heard that. Stevie Fast said I was completely wrong.
Wrong. Oh, somebody. Oh, looks like Doug Winter's about a 620. I think he come loose in the middle. So everybody is out there testing the roots blowers right now, try to get performance. Me and Nitro in here talking to you about why we suck. I was definitely wrong about the screw deal. I have went on the record to say that. I did not think it'd be competitive. Believe me, if I thought it'd be fast, I'd have had it on at race 1. When Stan Shelton came out and ran, he didn't run exceptional, but he ran better than the Roots car could at the first time that they went out. I was like, okay, if these guys can do it, I'm going to at least head that direction. Yeah. I race for a living. I don't have other business and I don't have other sources of income. My sponsors pay me to win. So when we show up and we just always qualify 8th for a couple of years, that's just not good. So I was wrong on the 75 over. I can tell you as of yesterday that 10% of overdrive slowed that thing right on down. I don't know how much it'll be quarter mile because we're testing an 8th mile track, but it's definitely 3 to 4 slower to the 8th in the same conditions. So I think that that's a good move by NHRA to try to at least get it closer.
Okay, so now the next question.
Hour to be able to win on race day.
Sorry to cut you off there. So now the next question. When do we see Stevie Fast come out with a Pro Charge combination to get that smashed down so his Roots car is competitive?
I should have done it. I should have done it 2 years ago. The problem is now I think the Pro Charger is pretty close. Like, I don't think they've got any sand left in the tank. I don't, the latest rule change NHRA did this week with the 500 more RPMs, I do not agree with that. I don't think, in the beginning, that thing, it makes 55 pounds of boost, all right? A Roots blower car makes 40. So that thing will have to have a lot to get it reeled back in. It's got the wrong blower on it. It always has. It needs like 20 millimeter smaller blower. But with that said, I don't think there's an advantage with that combination like there was. So for me to spend the money now doesn't make sense. As soon as Belushi made his first test pass in 2019, I ordered a Pro Charger car. It's just now you can't get a car. It takes 2 years to get a car. So by the time I got the thing, I didn't think that it was a home run ball combination. Plus, I have 1,000 runs of Roots blower data. You know what it costs to make 1,000 runs in an NHRA Pro Mod car? You know what that investment is? I want to run my Roots blower. I am a Roots blower guy in this combination. Now, in my outlaw world, give me a 128 over C rotor, and I'll show anybody in the world how to run it. But coming into the NHRA deal, we couldn't run that thing when we first started. So to abandon 1,000 runs of data it's not good financial sense.
Okay, that's all fair. But so how did you take the 128 outlaw screw knowledge and data and suck it back to 75 over, or did you have to start with a blank sheet of paper?
I started with a blank sheet of paper. I've never run anything that low overdrive. We didn't dyno test the thing. We didn't do anything. I took the blower off the Shadow, sent it in and got it certified, built what I thought will be a half-ass decent racing motor to put it on there, and just went out and tested it. When you're used to running with no power, and I say that like a hot rod roots blower makes 2,800. When you're used to doing that and you get a little bit of power, it makes you look like a superstar. When you're used to running with a lot of power and they take a little away, it looks like it hurts you a lot. But for a season and a half, we've been running with a car that on a really good run goes 249. So when you get something that'll go 257 out the box on its first run to the stripe, it just makes it easier. Screwball racing's easier because the power curve is linear. That's why it's so popular, and that's why it dominates wherever they let it in. It's easy to manage. It's the easiest combination to tune in the world. And it can make anybody look pretty smart. I'm not that smart. I just got some mechanical skill.
All right, mate. Now, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know they're pounding on the door to get you out on the track. Today, you've got the Roots car going down the track at Gallot?
Absolutely. In 15 minutes, we're going to see what the Roots Charger will run. Same conditions as yesterday, 10 more grains. Racetrack good. I came here because the track is good. It's a little too good for what we run on. But to see performance, I don't want the car aborting or not going down the track or anything crazy. So we're going to stack it up today to where it sits with a little 25 pounds out of it that they gave us, and then we'll see if it's competitive enough to bring it. Ultimately, I want to run my Roots car. I know we got a lot of Hoot Charger fans out there. I want to run my Roots car. If NHRA continues to try to exterminate that combination, I'll run something else. But my goal is to try to make it where a Roots blower car can run good.
It's a very emotive topic, isn't it? I mean, you either love screws or you hate screws. You love turbos or you hate turbos, and now having 5 power adders, I mean, we've got everybody covered.
Right.
So
it's very difficult. So every racer in the meeting in Indy last year voted completely against allowing the screw blower to be allowed. We had a meeting with NHRA. We had a 100% vote to not allow the screw blower in. Not one racer said they wanted to have it. At least they won't do it publicly. They may do it in the backdoor dealings. Yeah. But you know, I was vocal in the meeting and said that the screw blower would be the nail in the coffin of legal door car racing for the quarter mile. And I've been on record to say that. I didn't think we had a good handle on where the rules were, and now we threw the other thing in there. But it's in now. The cat's out of the bag, and if there's an advantage there, I'm going to take it. The guys that are converting, the problem with allowing a new power adder in, what kills Frank Manzo told me this in the staging lanes in Virginia, and he's right. Frank Manzo's a smart guy. He said, what hurts any class is change, and he's right. So when we allowed the Pro Charger in, we didn't get one new car, not one. We just made everybody spend $3 million. So the companies that got the $3 million are happy, right? But the racers aren't. Well, now we got the screw blower. We're not getting a new car. We're not getting one car to come in. We're just making all the Pro Charger guys and all the roof blower guys spend the $3 million to go screw blower racing. So who wins? The manufacturer, and who loses? The racer. So you got to decide how long the racer's willing to lose to spend the $3 million every 2 years to keep stirring the same old shit around. NHRA, the people making the decisions at NHRA are either don't understand race cars or they're too proud to ask for help. And that's going to step on some toes. You got some technical guys who are very smart, and then I think you have some other people that whatever the technical guys tell them to do, they just do 180 degrees the opposite. But sometimes I don't understand the thought process. With that said, I'm excited about where the class is going. All of this talk, whether it's good or bad, absolutely fuels interest. You know, I got people and sponsors calling me about NHRA Pro Mod that haven't called me in 2 years. So whether it's good press or bad press, like me or hate me, we need you to come out and participate in running this class. Competition in NHRA Pro Mod is the toughest door car racing on the planet. I don't care where you want to go. If you think you're a superstar at one of these other organizations, come over here and we'll show you how average that you are. And I mean that. Guys that are great at what they do struggle here because it's hard. If you want to race with the cream of the crop, we got a great bunch of guys. We all bicker back and forth, all the racers. We're like a family out here. Any of us will do anything for any of our people, and it really is a tight-knit community. When we stick together is when it's great. Shootout coming up in Brainerd is going to be absolutely awesome. I said this week. If you've never seen 3 people dressed up like Santa Claus doing a keg stand on a pontoon boat on the return road, you haven't been to Brainerd. It's a show like I've never seen fans
Mate, you're talking to an Aussie. What's a cake stand?
A keg stand, man. You never been to college? You never were around in the 80s where you like stand upside down on a beer keg and like get some funnel action going on. It's a keg stand. Yeah, man, you gotta do that. It's an American thing. Like probably they call it like a what's y'all's Australian beer? It's probably like a Foster stand or something. Like when next time you're on a bloody walkabout, get you a Foster's and do a Foster stand. How's my Aussie?
That was a terrible South African version of an Australian accent, mate, but that's all good.
Normally, all right, so Cross is British. Normally,
you gave me a great segue there. It's pretty exciting. Yep, we're talking about the class, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, whether you agree, disagree, doesn't matter. It's in the press. We're all talking about it. You and I are here. You should be on the racetrack right now, but you're taking the time out to come and talk to us about it. Then you've got $60,000 on the line for Pro Mods at the zoo.
I think it's $60,000 or $65,000. NHRA Pro Mod is the richest door car racing series there is on the planet. It pays good. It pays good to qualify now. And when you stack on a shootout like what we have coming in Brainerd, you can win $60,000, $65,000 in prize money in a weekend at the zoo. I mean, come on. It's a race within a race. The fans are excited about it. I'm going to get that money. Garage racing and shootout racing is where I thrive. But I want everybody to please take note. I could have took that screw blower car and sat on that 10th and waited till Brainerd. So financially, it did not make good sense for me to do what I did 2 weeks ago. I care about the fans. I'm honest, and I run the car as hard as it'll go. My guys told me, they said, why don't we just sit on this 10th to Brainerd and just win all the money? And I said, that's not fair to the fans. We're not doing it. If we do that, we're just like all the rest of them. So in Brainerd, hopefully we got an even rule package where everybody can win. Whoever gets off that button on Sunday gets to get all the cheese.
So there may not be 2 cars in the trailer headed to Topeka, but there may be 2 cars headed in the trailer to Brainerd.
I'm taking 2 cars for the rest of the year. Always. I may even get another trailer and bring the nitrous car. I might have all 3 that I know how to run out there. And then anything I got that I can get bolted on there and bring it out, we're going to have it. I promise you there's going to be 2 cars in the trailer in Topeka and Brainerd. If you walk outside and need a coat, the roots blower's coming.
You said about the nitrous car. I mean, Ricky's known for perhaps voicing that the rules don't necessarily suit him. He's coming second. He's run it up 2 out of the 4 races.
Ricky could be 1,000 points ahead in points, and it still wouldn't be fair for the nitrous car. So everybody's tired of hearing that. Like, nitrous car is hard to run, hard to race on Sunday. That thing has the highest power to lowest weight percentage of anything out there. The reason there's not more of them is it's just expensive to run. It's a $150,000 motor versus a $50,000 motor, and it's very meticulous. They're difficult to run. I still have the record for the quickest nitrous car in the world, and probably always will. Actually, I got the two quickest cars ever, not even the first one. But I can tell you they're difficult. If they keep staying where they're at on weight, you'll see a couple of guys venture that way. I'm hunting an engine for the Barker Max car right now. If I can find any kind of wore-out motor to put in that thing, we may bring it out toward the end of the season, especially some of the wet races. U.S. Nationals, normally it's 130 grains. Nitrous car runs good there. You may see it out towards the end of the year. I need to get Barker Max back out here. He's building a house. As soon as he gets done building his house, he's going to come back racing with us.
So you've touched on, I was going to let you go, but mate, you've opened another can of worms. The boys at DI, Wes, Buck, and of course, Mike Carpenter, son of the legend, Charles, they were talking about, are we going to get to a point where, and this has happened in the rules, correct me if I'm wrong, over the last 4 or 5 years, as you said, roots cars will go well at these type of events. Nitrous cars go well at these type of events. Turbo cars went well at those type of events. So the rules were changing based on individual events. Are we going to end up with people like you who have the ability to tune all 3 or 4 options? Okay, we're going to take a roots car to these races because we know that the air is going to be dry and it's going to work. We're going to take a nitrous car to those rounds because that's going to work. We're going to turn up with a screw for these 3. You're going to end up, out of the 5 power adders, you're going to have 4 of them in the trailer.
The problem is it's not good for the class to do that.
No, that was my point.
Can do that, and there's not a lot of guys who want to do that, and ultimately it just gets too expensive. If you were serious and you gave me no budget, I'd have all 5 power adders ready to go, and I would get my little weather station out the week of the race and bring it. I really would, but I don't have money, so I don't have way to do that, and ultimately we don't need that happening.
No.
So we want to try to stave away from doing that. We have to slow down the development in this class if we're going to make it sustainable. You can't continue to spend the amount of money we're spending changing combinations every week just because somebody don't like the rules this week and continue to thrive. So we need to get to a place where you kind of got one combination and can run it. That's the goal. But to do that, everybody's got to be honest. Everybody's got to have the same goal. And I think
so. Has Lonnie got the rules pretty close to right now? Are we done?
I think we're closer. Lonnie is a smart guy, and he has a good heart, and he's got the best interest of the class at heart. And I mean that. When I'm bashing on these guys, we don't always see eye to eye, but I think he has the right intent. I think the rules are closer than they've ever been. I would have liked to have seen the roots blower back where it was in 2019. It still wouldn't be as fast as what the Pro Charger guys are running now and what the screw blowers are running now, but it would be at least closer. We got halfway there, so we got half of it.
What does that look like, Steve? You want some more overdrive back?
No. I mean, ideally, I would like 16.5 and 2600 like we were. We still went. I went 64 with a 4, I think, in 2019 and 300 feet of air, and it's still the quickest roots blower car pass in the world. And it's still not as quick as where some of the other cars ran in Gainesville this year. And that was 40 pounds lighter than what we were with 2% more overdrive. So if you can't get there at that package, how do you say we have parity? And that's what I mean. Like my quickest roots blower run ever in the world couldn't have won the final Gainesville this year. And we're 40 pounds heavier than we were then and have 2% less overdrive. So that's what I'm talking about, parity. If the quickest one that ever has been made in the world can't win, how do you win? with that said, I think the goal of the NHRA tech people is to make it where we can just play with weight. And that's when we finally get there, when we finally get to where it's 25 pounds in and out of the car, 10 pounds in and out of all combinations, that's when everybody can quit spending money, and that's when it's gonna get good. That's when there'll be no more places to hide, right? You can't just go write a check and get a 10th on the field. And when there's nowhere else to hide, that starting line will tell on you. And that's where we want to get, as to where that's where you got to go win it. So I think we're closer than we ever been. And I think we've been moving in that direction for the last year and a half. It's just we moved really slow for a long time, and now we're kind of moving really fast. But I think everybody's heart's in the right place, and I'm excited about where we're going for the end of the season.
Awesome, mate. All right, speaking of going fast, let's let you go fast out on that track. Good luck with the roots. The roots is dear to my heart. I'd rather see the screw kick back to outlaw where it belongs, but that's another conversation for another day.
I'm with you, baby. I'm with you. I'm about to go take the roots. If that thing runs, I ain't gonna tell you. I got an ET in mind. If it gets there.
Come on, Stevie. You're never shy. What's the number?
I can't tell you, because I can't tell you what the screw will run yesterday. But if it'll run that, it's first string on deck. If not, she's gonna be on the bench for a little while.
All right, mate. Good luck. Be safe. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.